you have your belief, you have your dreams. I was a dreamy kid. I dream, about playing soccer and, going to Barcelona and playing here and there and also achieving several things. So having those dreams, also with your belief, because your belief is very powerful, no matter what you believe in. But if you have a foundation, a pillar that you get back to and say, it's impossible, but it's not impossible for God. It's really helpful, because I remember that daily conversation. I'm a pharmacist and I want to be a diplomat. And almost 100% of people around me were coming to say, this is a national competition. 2,000 people are contesting. They want to take 20 or 30 out of those 2,000 people. Do you think they're going to take you, pharmacists, and leave all those guys who are much more capable than you? It made complete sense to me. And every single day by myself, while after work, while I was studying or trying to prepare myself, I asked myself the same question. And I say, do you think they take you and leave all those guys? They're much better than you. And I come back with another question and I say, it's impossible for you, yes, but is it impossible for God? And the right answer at the right moment was, of course, no, it's not impossible for him. So having that belief pushed me back again and say, okay, if it's not impossible for him, then keep focusing on your part. Your part is just keep studying, keep just pushing, So I think that's the main, that's the main push behind every single day having that conversation and believing in this and trying to do all the things that put me on the right track. And also that makes you believe in yourself that the only way it works is hard work. So,
That's interesting, because there's again, I'll call out two different sides of that. And I'm curious where you land on this, right? There's one side of that, which is that's the beauty, the power of belief in God, of religion, of that spiritual belief, the ability to do something seemingly impossible, but you call on this faith that you have, and it allows you to achieve something that you otherwise never would have been able to achieve. And that's amazing and beautiful. And that's why religion is as powerful as it is. There's another side of it. Somebody could look at it and say, that belief allowed you to continue to do something that was extremely difficult, right? Numerous times in which you've done it. And perhaps there's a view that people would look at life and say, that faith, that belief in God made your life harder. It made you feel this obligation to do something really difficult, where maybe your life would have been better off if you didn't feel this compulsion or need to do it. It's probably individual for each person, but that's interesting to me to look at it. You can look at it from either lens.
I totally agree. And it happens all the time. Like I in every single process of these, sometimes I ask myself why I'm doing this, And like the last 6 months, I've been in a very intensive process of building a startup. And sometimes a lot of downs, and it's a roller coaster of emotion. And then I ask myself why I'm doing this, like, in a very tough morning or, a late evening doing something. But then back to the main point, if you have that purpose, if you have that big value, that, values are your GPS, right? So if you have a big value that are directing you, and your passions very well, and it's directing you toward the dream lifestyle or a dream vision, that where you are at service to yourself, to people around you, of value, at least, let's say of value, because having value is what make you of value, right? Like, and serving people is what make you of value. And just give a bit of example, and like one of my friends 10 years ago told me that. I wrote about it in the book as well. And she asked me, do you know what's the difference between a precious stone and a very normal one down there? I didn't know. So the precious stone is down deep, below, is going through a lot of pressure, heat, change in circumstance, change in temperature and pressure. And that's what is making it precious. The other one, no one cares about it. Like, the other one is useless. And the same applies to us. Of course, there are a lot of unnecessary pressure, and we should always, talking about mental health, that would be another, topic. is how you balance that, right? How you live an interesting life. There are things that you love. Like if you love to, for example, enjoy the beach, you should enjoy more time going there. But also, what's your value? But I think that's the big question. What's your value? Why you're here? Uh, at least pick one thing and just keep doing it. At least, you know. And this is what will differentiate us from other creatures, if I would say.
Yeah, it's such a good answer, and it's such an interest, because you hit it a little bit, like whether it be God, whether it be your purpose, your mission, your value, your passion, there's a degree of irrationality to it. And I don't know if that's the right word, but there is, right? Because as you said, it's implanted in you. You didn't choose it, it chose you. And whenever you're introducing that little bit of irrationality to it, there's a chance, as you said, like you can't really question it. So no matter how bad it gets, how hard it gets, if you feel like you're doing it because it's your passion or your purpose, or because, you know, it's God driven, then you're going to have to do it. And that's always a little scary to me. That's always a little dangerous, because you might be making the wrong choice and you'll never realize it, because it seems like that's what it has to be.
Exactly. And that brings back our conversation to the biggest challenge is searching inside yourself, because we are all here with our geniuses. We're all here with something that others don't have, you know, each one of us. But it's a waste of life if I don't figure out that, you know, it's really sad. It's really sad. And it's upsetting me.
Let me ask you about that, Mustafa. Last question on that. Just to finish that thread. Why is it so sad? I mean, I get the first level why it's sad, because you're not living up to your potential. You haven't found your genius. But on a very macro philosophical level, at the end of that thread, why does it matter? Is it because God's going to be upset with you? Is it because you didn't get as much enjoyment as you could have? Like, what's the reason why it's so sad?